in week 7. The Pet Shop Boys bringing us into week 7 in the NFL. I took week 6 off for a lot of reasons. One, I was extremely tired, and two, and probably most importantly, week 5, I went 4-9 against the spread. Automatically just penalized myself 1 week to watch some football. I got to watch a lot last Sunday. Hopefully that'll tool these picks up. Up first is the Saints in Oakland, because they're off. So let's put them up there so you can see them. And now they're out here. We saw the Thursday night game. Seattle pretty much manhandled the Cardinals. St. Louis, not those Cardinals, which are going to the World Series. I'm sure a lot of baseball fans are locally happy about that. But the Arizona Cardinals scored 22 points last Thursday and the game before last. We're 1-1 in those games, but that's kind of an odd score, especially an odd score twice. So that's it was pretty odd. Now, so looks like Seattle is still, hold and serve. as the best team in the NFC, or one of the best, but pretty much the best. Still too early to use those superlatives and all that, but as far as it goes, hey, pretty much through the NFC, the Super Bowl is going to go through Seattle or San Fran, and Seattle's got the little edge on them. Alright, you saw the stickers. I'm in the process of collecting them from a couple of different stores, including the one I work at. I've got the helmets. You all saw the helmets on the Christmas tree last year. It's 25 helmets and 24 stickers. And through the combination of these helmets, there's Atlanta, about to talk about them in a minute, as Tampa Bay is at Atlanta. We're going to have to write Tampa Bay down. I'm not going to do that because it's Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Through the combination of helmets and stickers, the only teams that I don't have at least one of those tchotchkes for are Cleveland, Detroit, and we're about to talk about now, Tampa Bay. So those three teams are basically shit out of luck. Now, Tampa Bay is going on the road to Atlanta, division game in the Dome. Super injury problems for Atlanta. I'll talk about Tampa Bay in a minute, but I want to delve into Atlanta a bit because Julio is on the rack. Roddy White got injuries, and Shaw, well, that's Houston. That's later on. But Matt Ryan and these guys have lost some of their luster. I was talking 2 weeks ago about how Atlanta is great about having the ball last. If they get the ball last, they can run out the clock, win the game. They've done it 100 times. Haven't been able to do it this year though. I'm sitting at 1-4, and that was through 5 games. I don't know if that's where they're at now, but so they've got their own problems, and they're going up against Tampa Bay, who's just unloaded Josh Freeman for whatever reason. It's a what have you done for me lately, and especially now kind of league, and Josh wasn't putting up the 26-5 numbers that he put up from a couple of years ago, and it's not necessarily all his fault. I'm sure all quarterbacks, they get all the blame and all the credit. So I don't want to drop the whole load of dirty laundry on Josh, but some of it is his. So Tampa Bay seems to be perpetually in flux, and Atlanta is in flux now. I mean, New Orleans is running away with the division, and with Carolina's nosing around, but they're still, I think, 2 or 3 games back, which means Atlanta and Tampa Bay are at the bottom. So we'll talk about Carolina later. I don't know who they're playing. We'll get to that in a minute. The loser of this game can almost, start. Hey, and you see Atlanta dropping. That might have to be my pick. The loser of this game can start making their vacation plans. So there's a lot on the line. Atlanta is at home if anything's going for them. Okay, all right. So, there's, even in a game like this with 2 teams with losing records, though, and add on the fact it's a division game, going to be really huge game for these teams, and especially the winner of this game. And you see Tampa Bay lose and think, hey, the problems were more than Josh Freeman. What is it? Are you just going to fire your way through the whole team until you find what the problem is? You may have done too much damage by then. So In that game, I will take. It's just too many questions from Tampa Bay. They had a chance to beat what we thought was a bad Jets team, didn't do it. Too many questions on Tampa Bay, not enough answers. Atlanta at home, which, by the way, is a 7-point favorite. Yeah. I said they get the magic back and they beat Tampa Bay 24-20, get a foothold on some kind of wild card spot because, again, the Saints are just running away with the South at 5-1. So I'm going to take Atlanta in that. I mean, that's just the safe bet. Okay, let's see here. Next, we got Cincinnati at one of the teams that I don't have a sticker for in Detroit. So, Cincinnati seems to have righted their ship as of late, and Detroit has been playing some decent football. And it seems like in spite of what's his name, is Dominican Sue. Seems like they end up usually having to play around him. So, and despite that, they're still 4-2, tied with Chicago for the lead in the NFC North, holding the tiebreaker because so far that's the only game that matters, and they beat Chicago. So they're in the catbird seat versus the team in Cincinnati. Who is it? Cincinnati? They've got to be in the lead, right? It ain't Cleveland. It could be Baltimore. It's Cleveland, Baltimore. It ain't Cleveland. It ain't Pittsburgh. So, that's weird to say. It's not Pittsburgh. So, they're still having to play for position either first or second in the AFC North. Going to Detroit, where anything can happen. Now, Megatron's been kind of gimpy or ineffective, and I don't look at it from pure numbers perspective or fantasy perspective. I just know if he's at home, more than not, he's going to be out there. He's going to be a factor. And you think about it, he's going to have to be because Cincinnati has their quote-unquote Megatron and A.J. Green. So he'll need to be out there to offset that, or at least to, hold serve with the Bengals, who of course can score one play with the best of them, just like Detroit. For that reason, and for the fact that they are first in the NFC North, and that can't be, being a diehard Bears fan, I want to take Cincinnati, whose defense is a tick or two better than Detroit's, to shut down Detroit 27-20. Detroit's a 3-point favorite. Basically, that's a push when you get 3 points, for being at home. So I'll take Cincinnati to win 27-20. The AFC East is kind of an unfair matchup, but Buffalo gets to go down to Miami. So that's fantastic. For whatever it's worth, the Patriots are having somewhat of an off year. But it doesn't seem like any of the other teams are doing enough to catch them. I mean, they're in shouting distance because it's early. But it's obvious that the Patriots aren't quite where they usually are, team-wise and record-wise. I mean, Brady's had a under 50% passing game. Granted, that was in the reign of Cincinnati, but Let's see here. I'm gonna bring up the standings real quick because I want to see exactly where they're at as far as the AFC East and all of them, I guess. Well, let's see. Okay, New England's 5-1, Miami's 3-2, Jets are 3-3, and Buffalo's 2-4. So they're all jockeying at least a game and a half back in New England. So whenever the teams, and here's Miami's helmet, I want to kind of give you that. That's from 4 or 5 years ago, actually. While they're playing each other, like this Buffalo at Miami thing, while they're playing each other, that kind of helps New England now because the loser's going to lose a game and the division and all that, and it works to their advantage, especially on the down year. I call it the down year. They're still 5-1, so hey, look it out. Now back to the actual teams that are playing, Buffalo and Miami. I think Manuel is out, right? He's got a little thing chink in his knee. Meanwhile, Miami's good at home and on the road. They're 2-1 on the road. That's kind of incredible. Let's see. I'll go off what the line says here. Miami an 8-point favorite. Never mind that. Buffalo is well inside of 8 if they don't win. So I got to distinguish that first. Will they win? Without Manuel, it's going to be hard. Miami's defense a bit too much, but it won't be 8. I'll write them down over here so I can remember them for later. 27-21 Dolphins. Dolphins cover, but Bills making the game. Not quite going to have enough. If Manuel's not playing, I guess I need to find out. I'm not sure go into all that, but if he's playing, I'll stand by it. Might as well. And then the first game of who's, I have both stickers. Speaking of the Patriots, they divvy up the division, all AFC East all the time, as they take on the Jets at the Meadowlands. New England's a 3.5-point favorite. And the Jets, for whatever it's worth, are right in the thick of things in the East. They're 2 back with 10 games to go, so anything can happen. Now, like I said, the loser this game, not the loser this game, if the Jets lose, it's going to be, again, to the Patriots' advantage because they've taken out a division opponent, and automatically a division opponent is going to be taken out with Buffalo, Miami. So if the Patriots win tomorrow, that's going to be a great day for them. There's only one other team in that division that's going to win as well. It'll be a great day. Now, conversely, if the Patriots lose and the Dolphins win, they will be tied in the loss column. And actually, Miami will be just a half a game back going into the next week. So, not that much of a big deal. Even with the Jets going to 4-3, if they beat New England, it's not that bad. So, it could be really great, or it would be not that bad. So, Brady and he's finding company. Gronkowski has been cleared to play. I kind of like how they said that he's been cleared to play. I still don't think he will. And that lack of tight end is going to be enough for them to not be able to turn these field goals that get them to 23 into touchdowns, make it 35. So I'll give them 23. Give that a 3.5 point favorite. I can see the Jets winning. I can see them stinking up the joint at home. You hope they don't do that. They very well could. And I think they will. And I don't know the reason. I just think they will. So, Patriots win 23-13. So we got everybody's favorite, America's team, that is. And another division matchup with the Watauga Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles. Same logo. Let's see. And the line is Philly with a 3-point favorite. As far as who I'm looking at is concerned, with that being the case, they actually have a pusher. Could this be the first tie? Really don't know. I don't think so. Cowboys know this place, division game, and the NFC East, I want to say that whenever it is a division game, but the NFC a bit more so. These guys know each other's home and away. They know each other. So the Cowboys know what to do. They go in there, handle business, and be able to get out with the win. Their only problem in doing that is themselves. Granted, the Eagles, for whatever it's worth, have their problems. Again, earlier and more off the field, it seems that they're starting to gel a bit on the field, and you can always do that if you got a running back like McCoy. Big. Vic doesn't have to be the... First of all, they can play two quarterbacks. When you have McCoy in the backfield, you can be able to use either quarterback because you're going to you have established the running game. But in Vic's case, he doesn't have to be that run-pass dual threat that he may need to be at times. But then you've got to establish the run. And Chip Kelly being an ex-college coach, an ex-Oregon coach at that, you can see lapses of him, and for whatever reason, whenever he's down, see moments of him abandoning the run. But I think that is stopped with time because, realizing in the NFL it's paramount that you establish the run. And if you've got a running back that can do it, well, damn it, get it done. And especially at home. And I think they will. Too many Dallas turnovers, and it turns into an embarrassment. They kind of get hyped up. Eagles win 31-20. All right, your favorite and mine, the Chicago Bears. Take a trip to Chocolate City to take on Washington. I will not say their team name again until they change it. I don't know if you should either. I don't know why I'm even doing it because I'm the type that love to say any words he wants. faggot, cunt, nigger, something like that. Anyway, I won't say that one though because that one is kind of out there. It ain't like it's the Memphis niggas or something. So that one's out there. Shouldn't be out there. Warriors, Seminoles, that's fine with me. At like Florida State, Seminoles, that's Seminole country. It's almost paramount that you do that. You name the team the Seminoles because, damn it, that's where you're from. Warriors, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Indians, like the Cleveland Indians. I'm sure nobody does too in Cleveland, and I'm sure the majority of the Native American population doesn't either. Redskins, that one's out there. That one's got to go. It's kind of got to go. The one that's got to go, well, and Savages, and Savages is pretty much out of the door. So Redskins, that one's got to go. The Blackhawks, the Chicago Blackhawks. Doesn't seem bad to me, but it kind of favors this guy, right? It kind of favors that, this guy on Washington's logo. I don't have a problem with that either, because the Blackhawks logo, that guy's smiling. And this one, if you change it to Warriors, you have that isn't too bad. Keep the colors, and in this Obama era, 51% of the people are going to hate it, 49% are going to love it, and you can't please everyone, especially now more than ever. It's physically and medically impossible. So, change it to Warriors. Leave it like that. That's fine with me. But I almost said it. What it is now, no. On the field, against my favorite team, all week I've watched the line because it hasn't moved. I started Monday at 1.5 of Redskins, and it's down to a point. What I got here is got it actually as a pick'em on this Bleacher Report. Has got it at a pick'em, but when they are forced to pick, they pick Chicago. Don't know why. Love it. So, said it a couple weeks ago, and it happened against the Giants when we played the Giants. Playing to our opponents. Had our foot on the Giants' throat, let them up almost back into it, held on late. Eli, it seems like Eli throwing a game-losing pick is just as in the cards as him throwing the helmet catch, or the one in the second Super Bowl that was tiptoed on the sidelines. And I feel for the guy, not so much for us needing to win, but I feel for the guy because, it's the weirdest thing. Peyton Manning is rewriting the meaning of the word quarterback. But we automatically put him as one of the elite quarterbacks. But his brother Eli has has an extra Super Bowl ring. And we won't call him elite. That's got to be the argument the whole time. Because I'm guessing, Peyton Manning, it's not a guess. Peyton Manning, of course, is obviously the better quarterback, the better regular season quarterback, and he is the elite quarterback. Whereas Eli isn't, because it took the helmet catch and it took that tiptoed catch on the sidelines in the Super Bowls respectively for them to win that. Now they did come from the 6th seed to win, big thing. And you remember that team finished 9-7 after I think losing 6 games in a row or something like that. They backed into the playoffs, or they won. Yeah, they won their last 6 because they were asking for confidence. Say it again. They won the last 6 to get to 9-7. Got into the playoffs, got hot, helmet catch Super Bowl. And last year I argued with her up and down about Eli being an elite quarterback, one of the 5 quarterbacks, because like the guy has got 2 Super Bowls, and Aaron Rodgers. That's about it, and Brady. So and when you say those names, you're saying the elite quarterbacks, and Peyton Manning only has 1. Drew Brees only has 1. So I don't know. I do know now that Eli is not an elite quarterback. For whatever reason, he is not. And Peyton is. Well, I know why, because Eli hasn't thrown 7 touchdown passes in the game, and Peyton has. The Giants aren't averaging 44 points a game. The Broncos are. Alright, anyway. Chicago, to a fault, plays to their opponent. They never get up. Well, they do get up by 17, and they have, but then they'll be up by 17 with the ball, and they'll just try anything. Punt. Next thing you know, it's a 2-possession game. 14, 13, 10, whatever. Punt again, because now they don't know what to do, and before you know it, they're back into it. And you can't get bailed out, with these Eli picks. Can't get bailed out at every game. It is imperative that if you're not in the game with these guys, and you can establish your will throughout the game, you've got to. And if it goes to 52-7, then so be it. I'm not saying that's going to be the score here, but if it goes to 52-7, so be it. You can't worry about how the opponents feel. They're just going to have to put up with it. Now, right there, they win, right? No. I was putting up a smaller number than that. Blue 3. Put up a 2. Line is even. 1.5 point. That's even to me. That's even to everyone. Jay Cutler versus Hall. Last time, Cutler threw 4 picks. That was at home, and we lost that game against Washington at home. But Hall has said, call Cutler out. Cutler kind of, in his own way, whatever. But then on the field, went out there because Hall got 4 interceptions in the game. So he seemed to make it a point to throw to him. And even when it didn't work the first time or second time, he continued to do it. And that wasn't that. He should have done that. 4 interceptions. I mean, you should have stopped at 2 or 3. 2 or 3, okay. All right, the guy's great. I'm not going to throw there anymore. Robert Griffin III may be rounding in the regular season form now. The brace on his knee is big. Also as big, too, is his supporting cast. Got to step up. Haven't been seeing a lot of that. I mean, we talked about it last year, just incredible offensive stats. Not seeing that so much this year, whether it's through the sharing of tape or the fact that you're just not going to push me around like that anymore. And, of course, his injury has put blood in the water for everybody that's played him before now. They know that even now, even after a year after the injury or so, he's still not 100%. Bears defense racked with injuries and a bit more breaking and the bend and don't break scheme because they've been giving up a lot of points, which has been fine because the offense is kicking in their share. The defense gives up points, but it's always a certain number to 7 or maybe a certain number to 14 or 10. Because they've got a pick 6 in them. No matter where the game is, it could be out of hand. They've got a pick six in them, so they'll always contribute 7 points. If they ever kick it to Devin Hester, like I said a couple weeks ago, there's another, 3 to 7 to 10 points, a field goal, a touchdown, maybe both. The offense is scoring at will, and a lot easier than they have in seasons past. The 2 touchdowns to Marshall were too easy. And getting down the field with the help of Martellus Bennett, finally a guy who can catch, who's not afraid to catch over the middle, is starting to help Jay out. And when all three of those fell, when Bennett, not Bennett, but yeah, Bennett, Jeffrey, Marshall, and Bennett are covered, Cutler can run and gets first down yardage. Well, yeah, he gets first down yardage. So that is enough. An improved offense, and a defense that's at least going to kick in over a team in flux, but not out of it in their own division. And to pick them, I'll take my Bears 30-21. So you'll love that, Kenneth. Stop. It's the Rams versus the Cams. And an interesting game. Now, the Rams just pushed Houston around, like the 4 or 5 teams before them, but anything is good enough to get going, just as Carolina, right? 38-0. You might say, oh, well, it was against the Giants. They were already 0-3, 0-4. Who cares? There's beating a team, there's kicking somebody's ass, and then there's 38-0. With the same thing as the spreads I was thinking the last few weeks against Jacksonville, way out there, outrageous, 28, 27 points. No, that's not going to happen. The same thing here. Doesn't matter. You got a football team, shouldn't be getting beat 38-0. The worst NFL team, even Jacksonville, for all it's worth, isn't going out there getting beat 38-0. So they just pushed around not a trendy pick, but a kind of a dark horse pick in Houston the past couple of years to get to the Super Bowl. They handled them, I think it was 38-13. Carolina has taken care of a ex-Super Bowl-esque type team in the Giants, 38-0. Chock full of young talent. It's about time for Bradford to step up and become that second-tier quarterback, to give them that second-tier quarterback to get out of there with the guy he played for, played with in college, Blaine Gabbert and all those guys. You got to get out of there. Now, can you do it against a guy who's had some success, in Carolina, and Cam Newton and co-op? You got Steve Smith, you got D'Angelo Williams in the running game, Greg Olsen. You've got some offensive weapons there. St. Louis got Tavon Austin. He's a great guy, but he's small, and you can't force the ball down his throat, drive after drive after drive. And losing Steven Jackson, for whatever it's worth, and it might be more mental a little bit than on the field, still going to be kind of a bit to overcome. So, let's see here. Let's give the Rams 17. Now, Carolina's a 6-point favorite. I'm going to make this a favorite here real quick. Carolina's a 6-point favorite. And if I put this score like that, they will cover that 6-point spread. I like it. 24-17. Not kind of hard to take off. Alright. Let's see. Got a few more to go here. San Diego Superchargers. Might do that with them every time. Alright. Speaking of them, I'm going down to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. I'm sure their logo looks different from that now. So, now San Diego is an 8-point favorite on the road across country. So, the Chargers just beat Indy on the big stage on Monday Night Football. I do kind of feel Phillip Rivers. They're like that whole week. I didn't see nothing about San Diego. Even the Monday Night Football commercials were exclusively about Andrew Luck. So don't come here and try to interview me after we beat their ass, because, you know, it's kind of not cool. So this flip-flop of a team, this Mitt Romney of a team, yeah, I said it, and the San Diego Chargers, good enough at one day to beat Indy. Now, after that short week, they go across the country to take on Jacksonville, an 8-point underdog at home. Blackman has said that suspension has been the best thing for him. He had 14 catches for 190 yards against Denver. You fantasy geeks probably wigged out over that. And so you take a Jaguars team that's not only bringing that spread down, bringing their confidence up, though they're still not winning. And I still got Maurice Jones-Drew. Boy, quarterback situation is atrocious. Can somebody get Tim Tebow on the line? Against a San Diego team that looked like world beaters one week and go out and lay an egg the next. And I think lay an egg is what the Chargers do. I think lay an egg is what the Chargers do. And Jacksonville gets their first win of the year. They are an AFC team, by Jove. They should have some. I'll go even more so in the upset of the week. Jaguars all over the San Diego Chargers, 34-21. Blackman and Co-op get it in gear, get their first win of the season. Now, let's see, the 49ers. Everybody loves their logo. 49ers go to a place like Tennessee. Take me to another place. Take me to... I should have played that. I think I will next week. Going to Nashville to take on the Titans. 4-point favorite. Going most of the way across the country. And take on the game Tennessee team. With that loss to Indy, puts them one game behind them. 4-2 to 3-3. And, you know, for even all the troubles Houston's having, they're 2 games behind Indy, 2-4, and everybody's at least 2 games clear of Jacksonville. So, you know, hey, all is not lost, even for Houston. Just win a couple games and you go. Back to San Fran and Tennessee. There's been a chink in the armor of the 49ers. You know, can't seem to lean on Kaepernick. And for whatever reason, the run-pass option were made RG3 and Robert Griffin III and Colin Kaepernick and Russell Wilson so explosive and popular last year, the first two have completely done away with it. If it's through protecting Robert Griffin or play calling in the case of Colin Kaepernick. Now, Seattle is still going with it to a degree, and so they're still having some success. So, you might have to do that against a team like Tennessee. You got a hard-hitting defense, but it's susceptible to longer pass plays. And if you get Vernon Davis going, might be able to get something going there. So, a game Tennessee team, game San Fran team. Let's see what the line says. I'll go with them. Oh yeah, San Fran's 4-point favorite. I can see Tennessee winning this game. I can see Tennessee winning this game. I'll leave it there. 24-21. And another upset. The Titans upset the 49ers. Inside that touchdown, the 4 points that they're favorite to the 3 points here that I say they win by. Anywhere in there, I'm comfortable with. But, no, it's a different year. These teams aren't just going to lay down for you, so you have to go out there and play. All right. I don't even want to hold this one up. Cleveland, who we don't have a picture for, goes to Green Bay. Now, if I didn't pick Green Bay, it'd just be because I do not like them, and for no other reason. But it is a horse race in the NFC North, with 3 teams separated by half a game. You can't even breathe right in the NFC North. 4-2, 4-2, 3-2. Chicago's about to play their way into the bye week after this game. So it's going to put the onus on Green Bay, who's already had their bye week, and the rest of the guys, whoever has theirs afterwards. You know, it's established that the Packers don't play well when they have to come from behind. You know that. We all know that. And they can stay up on them and stay on down in distance. Cleveland beats Green Bay 24-20. That's strictly a I Love Chicago pick. Of course, officially, pardon me. Probably the biggest spread of the day, of the week it is. Packers 10-point favorite. Packers 10-point favorite. There's no reason in the world I should be picking Cleveland to win this game. But that's why you can bet on them. Yeah. They had their time. Stop. They Geraldo like this. The Houston Texans, who are reeling. I mean, they are reeling in the years. Good grief. But again, they're only 2-4. And that's bad as it is. They're still within shouting distance of the top spot in the AFC South. But they're going to the surprise sexy pick of the year, your Kansas City Chiefs, who are 6-0 on the year. Wow. And the Chiefs are even a 6-point favorite against the team that we talked about that was a trendy Super Bowl pick in the Texans. You say the Chiefs have what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl? Or they just been lucky at the right time? Because this is a team that beat New Orleans last year, for what it was worth. They were 7-9. And beat New Orleans and didn't even lead in the game. They kicked a field goal in overtime to win. But those L's are behind them, and they are 6-0. And be at home taking on a team that's not really looking good. I'm going to leave it there. Houston gets back on track, 24-20. And we find the chink in Kansas City, whatever it is. Don't know what it is, but it'll be something. We'll get into the night games here. Let's see. Another division rack matchup. Herb, you'll love that. Baltimore Ravens. Man, I believe this one's for you. But everybody likes Pittsburgh. Miss Carol today, one of the ladies, woke up in the front of the store, had a nice Pittsburgh Steelers long sleeve shirt on. So she got it at NFLshop.com, and I think that's where I'm going to go to get my next Bears shirt. So, real quick here, it's a divisional matchup. Baltimore is in second. So Cincinnati's at 4-2, Baltimore's 3-3, Cleveland's 3-3, which is why I like that pick against Green Bay until further notice. So I like their 1-5. Then I might would have leaned for Green Bay. But Pittsburgh's 1-4. 3.5 back at the top spot. So they're 2.5 back on Baltimore, who took that early loss to Denver well, shook it off, back at 500. All you gotta do is win a couple games and you're back in the spot. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh just got problems. They ban video games in the locker room, and when coaches start doing that, there's always a segment of players, usually the young ones, tend to start going up against the grain here. They really don't like that. Big Ben Roethlisberger, that is, just doesn't have many people to throw it to, or as many as he used to. And it keeps that 16 from being 24, 27, 28, and a win for them. Actually, Pittsburgh is a 1.5 favorite, but that's at home, so I believe you get 3. So this is another pick-em for them. But I say Baltimore wins 21-16. If all else fails, and whatever you guys say about Flacco, he can hand it off to Ray Rice and go from there. Alright, so we're on that. Now the Sunday night game, and probably the game of the century, the probably best team in the league, and best team definitely in the AFC, and that's with a team in their division 6-0 as well. That bad-looking Bronco, and Peyton Manning goes to his old team. What a Bronco needs to run. Horseshoes for the Colts. Yet another horse team. It's funny how he's only played 4 horse teams, the Colts and the Broncos. I wonder why that is. Denver has incredible offensive talent beyond Peyton Manning, right? The Thomases, the running game, having to play rock, paper, scissors to see who scored. That one got somebody's ass kicked that night. You ain't just gonna pick rock, paper, scissors me. But anyway, is it gonna be like that on the road? Has been so far. Uh, but Denver's only played on the road twice. You're gonna go into your old atmosphere. And really, how weird would that be for Peyton Manning to go in there, to go into the visitors' locker room, to come out second, I guess, to play the game, and to see people in the stands, while you're playing this game, and both sides, fans from both sides, are wearing a jersey with your number on it. There's old Colt fans. There's 10,000. There's 10,000 Peyton Manning jerseys out there. They're rooting for the Colts. Hell, they could even be rooting for him as well. How is he going to react to that? He could have a great game and hear applause and no boos from both sides. He could have a terrible game and hear applause from both sides and no boos, and it's weird. But I think in the end, well, let's see here. First of all, let's talk spread here and see how that looks. 6.5 point favorite. I say the Colts do all right. But they hold them off late. The Broncos win 26-19. And again, nobody's sad because everyone knows Peyton Manning, right? So, nobody's hurt. Only one's hurt is anybody that bet on Denver. Well, that's 7 points, so I'm right on there with them on that one. It's minus 6.5. You might as well say 7. Monday Night Football. Last game of the week. It's Minnesota Vikings. They came off the rails, let down of the game for an incredibly acceptable reason last week. Taking on the New York Football Giants. I don't know who likes this logo. Anybody out there? All right. Giants are a 4-point favorite. And why is that? I would imagine because Josh Freeman is going to be starting that game. Now what happens? This poor kid, showed flashes down in Tampa Bay. Couldn't cut it, for whatever reason. We'll put 51% on the blame on him because he's not there anymore. So it's got to be at least that much. But he takes his act to Minnesota, who's been playing without a good quarterback, say Brett Favre, for a few years. And even you can count him as far as I'm concerned. But then you got to take all that on the road against the hungriest team in the league. And I don't mean that like, we out there getting ours. If a team needs a win, you know what? Never mind that. Because it would probably be the Jaguars. Let's see, the NFC East. Of course, they're last. But from top to bottom, it's only a 3-game spread. So, of course, now's the time. But with the top 2 teams at 3-3, even them at 0-6, they'll be just fine. You pick up a game every 3 or 4 games, and wipe that right out. Just like Jacksonville, they do. They do. Brandon Jacobs started running the ball again effectively last a couple weeks ago against Chicago. Even bringing in a new quarterback is not enough, and it's still, I guess it's still a question as to the quarterback play in Minnesota. It's not going to be enough. Yeah, again, the Giants 4-point favorites. I say they do a little bit better than that. It's been fun. Got to run.